Over the weekend, it was the 20th anniversary of 9/11, a day that everyone who was alive will always remember where they were, what they were doing that day. And it's a day you would expect to hear something from the President of the United States. And the Biden administration decided to make this video of Joe. And this was what the president had to say on the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
The absolute courage it took after two unimaginable losses is extraordinary. Yet the most ordinary of American things. To know life can be unfair and uncertain, a cruel twist of accident or deliberate act of evil. But even in darkness, to still be the light. There are people around the world that you'll never know who are suffering through their own losses, who see you, your courage. Your courage gives them courage that they too can get up and keep going. And we hope that 20 years later, the memory of your beloved brings a smile to your lips, even while still bringing a tear to your eye.
Okay. All right. In case you thought maybe they just messed up the editing on the pre-prepared video, he was asked again about 9/11 later on that day, and well, this is what he had to say.
This idea that, well, what do you want to do with Biden? I want to box him. I should be so lucky. But it is the kinds of things, or, stuff that is coming out of Florida, stuff that's coming out of, Robert E. Lee had been in Afghanistan. You'd have won. No, anyway, I'm telling you too much.
We're doing well. We're doing well. And in case you thought Joe Biden was the only president who completely embarrassed himself on the 20th anniversary of 9/11, you would actually be mistaken. You see, George W. Bush decided to take Joe Biden's incoherence and say, oh, no. I'm actually capable of being a way bigger piece of crap than he could ever hope of being.
There is little cultural overlap between violent extremists abroad and violent extremists at home. But in their disdain for pluralism, in their disregard for human life, in their determination to defile national symbols, they are children of the same foul spirit.
Okay. I'm gonna stay calm. I know you think I'm gonna freak out, but I'm just gonna stay calm. I just feel like it's pretty important to point this out. On September 11th, 2001, a bunch of Al-Qaeda terrorists, they murdered almost 3,000 Americans. Americans, your fellow Americans, my fellow Americans. They were staring out the window of a skyscraper, more floors above the ground than you care to think about. And they were looking behind them, and you see the flames were coming. And they knew in that moment they had to make a choice. They could stay there and burn alive. Try to imagine what that would be like, burn alive, or they could dive out the window and watch as the ground came up to them at 200 miles an hour and they splattered on it. If it sounds like I'm being graphic, I am. Americans died in mass on 9/11. For anybody to think it's even remotely appropriate to even bring up January 6th on the 20th anniversary of 9/11 is insanity to me. Let alone to compare what those people did on 9/11 to anything that happened on January 6th, the political protest that got a little out of hand, and some guy with freaking antlers wanders into the Capitol building. These people, it's not that people's brains are broken in this country. There's always going to be people with broken brains, always. You know what it is? It's that at the highest levels of this society, they're broken. That's the President of the United States. That's the man who was sitting in the Oval Office on 9/11. Actually, I know he was out reading, but that was the man who was president on 9/11. Watched it happen, lived through all the aftermath, and stood up there like some stupid idiot college kid who's been brainwashed. Well, I mean, they're basically the same. What is wrong with these people? We have that mental illness has now become part of the social fabric. It just has been. All the leaders of our institutions, they're all hopelessly and endlessly broken. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.